3 years of self-publishing, starting as a serialized paranormal romance author, and getting very close to my second year indie publishing under the pen name under Sally, my pen name and secret pen name. There's some things that I want to share. Um, some lessons, some thoughts, some general nuggets of wisdom, I guess, or lessons that I've learned that may or may not be useful to you. Let me introduce myself first. If by any chance you're new here, hi, I am Esther Marie Andujar. I'm a Puerto Rican writer aspiring to be a hybrid career author. I usually write under the fantasy umbrella, but I also write contemporary romances under a secret pen name that I lovingly call Sally, so people kind of like know what the heck I'm talking about because it's not the only pen name that I have. It's the pen name that I currently have the most active, but it's not the only one that I have. I I've been thinking I've been doing a lot of retrospection, which comes with the kind of like the time. It's work towards the end of the year. Though I've been like thinking and mulling about all of these things, I will say since August, September. So pretty much well after half the year, half of 2025 has gone by. Um uh Definitely the injury that I got in my right hand, which right now I have it off the brace for a break. um I've been like on and off, on and off. But yeah, uh, I've been reflecting. I've been thinking a lot. So I probably will do a series of videos because I don't want these videos to be super long of just things that I have learned, things that I see or look at them differently, or kind of like have, I don't know, have a understand them in a different kind of way. And I thought I should share these things, mostly because, and this is the little tangent. So I think this was a few months ago. I want to say a couple months ago, but I don't think it was 2 months ago. I think it was more like 3 to 4 months ago. So a few months ago, I think I was chatting with D. I don't know if this was around the conversation, but I know I was talking with D, and I was kind of like mentioning that Sally is kind of like my experimental child. I've been trying a lot of things with Sally, to some degrees of success or not. Um, and it has been interesting. And I think the main reason I've been trying a lot, I've been willing to try things with Sally is, while no means I don't think I it Sally doesn't hold a place in my heart. I don't feel, for me, contemporary romances since is a vast genre, it's not something that I hold entirely precious. Like, of course it's precious to me. It is part of my business. It's one of the branches of my business, but it's not like if this doesn't work, my heart and my spirit crumbles. Not in a way that other writing projects might make me feel that kind of way if they fail. Um, so I think that's why I've been able to more freely try things. And okay, back to the that was a tangent back to why I wanted to do this videos is I think it was in that same conversation we were talking about. It's great to see what big authors in the indie space are doing, but when there's such a big gap between you as an author and them as an author, a lot of the things that they are doing will be either will bring you very lukewarm results, and at the worst, they will bring no results. Um, so now that I'm still very much a baby in the author. I have just 3 years under my belt. If I'm just gonna like just think cumulative, so I started publishing serialized through Kindle Vella, Patreon, and Coffee in July 2022. Uh, under I was doing it under my name, and then eventually I was like, wait, this is turning very, very bloody and pretty gruesome and dark. And I don't think that's what the majority of the things that I already want to write under Esther will be like. So maybe I should move them to a pen name. So I did the change on Vela. It still is under my Patreon and my Coffee under my name, Esther. But they will, when they go on books, they turn like this is not on sale. Just so you know, I always have to say it. This is not on sale. This is just the copy that I'm using to edit to read and make notations. They will go under the pen name Mireyanaban. That's the one that's gonna have all the paranormal romances that are like dark, gruesome. Probably a lot of them will be slow burn romance because I love a good pinning in paranormal. So I started that in July 2022, and then in I think it's February 2024 is when I released the first Sally book, I think. So was 2024? Yeah, yeah, 2024, and then next year, somewhere in January, February, it will be 2 years for Sally. So as of right now, cumulative is 3 years. And I there's things that there's this gap of information of like baby authors who have learned some things, and then authors who have more like 5 to 7 years of lessons learned and experience, and then people who have been doing this for a decade or more. So there's a lot of information from those 5 to 7 or 10 plus years authors of the things that they do and the things that they think new authors should do. But there's this thing, the readership, the market, the landscape, the social society as a whole, it's very different from 10, 7, even 5 years ago. So a lot of the times the basic of the knowledge they offer, it's fantastic and it's factual, it's true, but then a lot of the recommendations don't work. they don't work anymore. Um, or they don't realize that it works for them because they already have a solid readership foundation. So they have the numbers, they have the experience, they have the backlist, so and they have the trust of the readers. So a lot of the things that they do work because they have time that help them accumulate all those things. Um, so I'm like, well, I am not fresh, but while I'm still fresh, fresh somewhat, I should kind of like share kind of like this information right now on the year of the Lord 2025, towards the end, October 2025. This might be something that might not work in 6, 8, maybe a year, or who knows, maybe some of the things that I will share will still work for a couple of more years. And if you are already close to start releasing, maybe some of the things that I will be sharing in this videos in will be useful to you. Who knows? But it is here for anyone who may need it, and also for myself if I want to look back and see like how the early years of this career treated me. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about is the this topic of writing to market. Pretty much what people the common knowledge about writing to market is you write to what is selling like hot pancakes now. And this pretty much is easy to do for indie authors and authors um, who write fast, who their entire turnaround production is pretty fast. Because we all know creative trends as a whole, they ebb and flow. So trying to write to market when you don't control your production timeline, which most traditionally published authors do not. When you are more of a slower either writer or reviser, because you can be a fast writer but a slow reviser, or you can be a slow writer but a very fast reviser because you might not need that many revisions. Um, it will be detrimental for you to get in that hamster wheel and burn yourself to uh trying to produce something that is completely against your process. If you've been here long enough, um or if you want to know something extra about me, I am notorious for trying to find loopholes on things, or kind of like tilted my head a little bit to see things slightly different. So the way that I see this thing about writing to market is um, go into your genre of preference for writing specific, um, and go ahead and do some good old research. Go into Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, bookshop.org, and just search your genre. Search for bestsellers. Search, do like targeted search. Like, I'm gonna give a recent example because I am getting ready to start publishing under Mireya. Um, not with my serialized. They they need a lot of work. But I have a bunch of other stories under that pen name. Um, and I did a market research to decide which subgenre branch I was going to start with. So I went into the romance genre, and then I went into the. I went. Hmm, now I don't know if I went to like fantasy and then romance or romance and fantasy, something like that. But I look at what was there in the bestsellers, and then I hone it down. I funnel it even tighter. So I search for vampire romances and witch romances. Um, and then I look at the bestsellers, and then I look what other categories those bestsellers were also ranking at. And I saw other categories within the like vampire romance and witch romance. And I kept like digging in deeper and deeper and deeper, and I just look and see what was there, what was available, what look that was not only getting a lot of readers, but readers were wanting more, um, and kind of like listen to my own reactions of like through the search where my excitement was going, and I made a decision. And that's how I. This is like a very roundabout of saying, write to market to the things you want to write. So I know I made a note about this, and made it a lot more concise and probably a lot more eloquent. Uh, Let me search it. Okay, so this is pretty much what I'm trying to say. Find the few things, 3 to 5 things, those like core promises that you see that are either they're hot in the market and or are like evergreen in the market, or they are upcoming in the market. The most important thing, those 3 to 4 things that you will love to write book after book after book after book after book. Let me give you a couple of examples. Mountain Man is crushing it in the romance genre. At any length, short, novellas, novelette, full length, you name it, mountain, like romance readers are devouring the mountain man character trope. I don't have anything against it. I just, at least in the contemporary sphere, like if you tell me he's a mountain man, but he's also a werewolf, then yeah. But in the contemporary world, the character trope of a mountain man as a reader and as a writer, it's not interesting to me. It it does absolutely nothing for me. I am not that that's I if I was to just follow blankly the statement of right to market, I will be forcing myself to write to that, but I'm not going to. Because I'm not gonna write good books, and readers will be like, this was not good. Like, you can tell they don't read Mountain Man, because they were, I don't know, they were like growly enough. They didn't wear flannel shirts enough, or they didn't have enough abs. I don't know. I don't read the genre, so I wouldn't be able to write it to satisfy readers. So it'll be a complete bomb to my career to do that. Fake dating is an evergreen trope because fake dating is a relationship trope that can be blend with multitude of like settings and character tropes and um conflicts and things like that, and it's just you can make it very juicy, very dramatic, very cozy, very wholesome. Like it's a very flexible trope. I did last year a quick pivot after a specific book of Sally was just impossible to write. So I did a pivot to that, and out of the, I think I have three fake dating books. One of them specifically keeps getting read. Even though it's like a very holiday specific book, it's still very much getting page reads. Um, it doesn't get that many orders. Um, like not that many people buy the ebook, but it gets um read pretty much every day. And then the other two, depending um on kind of like the season of the year they get read. One of them I probably need to check out the blur and see if I can make it. It's not a holiday book, but is a winter book. And one of them is not a holiday book, but it's kind of like a fall-y, kind of like destination wedding kind of situation. And it has another popular trope, like it is a fake dating best friend's brother trope. And those are still very popular. They're evergreen tropes. And that was perfect for me because again is an evergreen. There's always plenty of readers looking for fake dating books, and it is a trope, a relationship trope that I love to write and read, and I had a good old time writing them. And it was a very enjoyable experience. Um, I so that those are kind of like the things that I will the those are the things that I've learned. It is not really about to writing to market, is finding what is in the market that you will love to write anything between three through six, seven, 8 books. Um, this is a lot of people will call this like finding your like subgenre or finding your niche. Uh, but at the at, at the core of it is it requires you to look at the market and find what is exciting to you, what you want to write, what you want to put out into the world, because we all know a lot of us are readers. once you find a favorite book, once you read something and it is a favorite book for you, you want to read 10 more of those. Well, there's need we need authors to write 10 more of those books, but with their voice, with their type of characters, with their own journeys. Um, so the first, and I that's the first and one of the biggest lessons that I have learned is like blending this thing of like writing to market, and writing what I want to write over and over and over and over again. I am still um test like testing things again. Sally is the experimental child. I date those fake dating books. I do have a holiday romance that I need to promote. It's getting very close to the time that I need to focus on promoting that book and promoting um the the other winter books. They're not holiday books, but they're winter books. Um, and I have a motorcycle club series that I need to get done and see how I enjoy it and how readers receive it and see if that's something that I want to stay. I also have a billionaire and also curvy women series, and also that is something that I need to see if I like to stay there and if readers like those type of tropes under Sally's voice. Um, and we shall see. If you are indie, this is a little bit of a tidbit. Um, don't be too scared to change things, um, especially early on. Uh, you you may know what you absolutely love to write. You might, by playing around and, testing things, you might find that you can add a couple of things that are either hot in the market or evergreen in the market or upcoming in the market to what you already love to write over and over and over again. And that might give you the oomph that you need to get readers and get a bump on what you're getting paid. Because I didn't say it at the beginning. Should have said it at the beginning. But this is pretty much all of this is pretty much for people who want to make author a career, whether it's part time or full time. That's your business. That's your decision. But if you want to make writing books your business, this is who I'm talking about. If you're more of a hobbyist writer, none of this will be really useful to you because selling is not what's important for you. If if you just want to release one or two books in your lifetime, then this is also not entirely useful to you. Um, if you are more of a overall an eclectic um type of author, some of these things might help you. It just your journey will take a little longer. I'm just gonna be honest. Cause it's gonna take you longer to gain the trust of readers because your next book not necessarily be what the readers of your previous book read. So they most likely will skip it. Um, it takes a few books for readers to read authors because of their author voice, and the way that they weave around stories. It's not with just one book, it takes a couple of books. So this is why this is why it's still the one of the best recommendations is to write in series in any sort of way, whether it is a completely connected with one or two characters throughout the all the books, or whether it is connected by a family or by a friend group or by a town or by a street or by a college, or if you're writing paranormal by a coven, by a wolf pack, by a vampire family, connect it some way. So you give yourself and readers 3 to 4 books at the very least that they can read, and you can gain their trust, and they can, see if it's just this book that they like, or they just like your authorial voice and they enjoy every type of story that you weave. That's pretty much my first video on the lessons that I have learned as a 3-year old in the author. Um, just find the things in the market that are selling that that's the important part. That's the important part that you want to write over and over and over again. That's the thing about niching down or finding that specific subgenre. You have to love it. You have to want to write it many times. If you get bored of it, it will show up on the page. Readers will get bored of it, bored of it. Um, so that's my first video about that. I have a few topics that I will be talking about. Would be some of them will be more for like authors who might still want to get into like the short um genres, most likely short romances because that's where I've been. Um and some things will be more like overall for all newer authors. That will be it. Be it. You probably will see the same clothes in a lot of the videos. I am trying to bulk record them. Um, so yeah, uh, that's it for now. I'll go ahead and let you guys go. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like. That pretty much helps the YouTube algorithm that other people with a similar profile of you, with similar like videos to you, would like to see this video. If you will like to see my other videos in your subscription box or page, please hit the subscribe. It's completely free. I do also stream Friday evenings around 6 p.m. Eastern time. Um, I am I'm pretty consistent with it. The times that I cancel, it's either I'm physically ill or there's a family situation that I just can't help it. Um, but yeah, even when I'm tired, I'm here and I will be um apologizing for every yawn, but I show up. I also do have a Twitch. If that is more of your vibe, there I do productivity stream. Join the chaotic family. This is always kind of like a messy, organized thing. Um, but yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.